Big head, stuck, dead lambs. Christ, he's a monster. This lad is nearly as big as his mother, but I've never lambed in Texel before. What have we got to lose? Lose a lot of money. Well, that's not good. Welcome back. Things have heated up considerably here. It is busy. You might even notice some of the pens are actually thinned out a little bit here. We have cleared out a few sheep and lambs. They're already gone out to the field. We had help. As soon as the students left around 5 o'clock yesterday, the crack really started. About 25 sheep lambed. All the pens are full. Sheep and lambs had lambed in the pens. I just have them out here, sorting them out. We have a single here, another single there, set of twins there, another single down here. Lovely big lamb. Thankfully they are lambing away themselves, not too much hassle. We had a sheep here with a pair of doubles in here. You'd see her 2 lambs in there. Handy little lambs. She was, you'll notice she's a bit cleaner than the rest of them. She is quite white compared to the rest of them. So she was missing. She was away on a bit of ground. I had lost her and I didn't realise she was missing. Somebody rang me to say, you know, you have a couple of sheep there. So went and picked them up. They're only in the shed a day or two, but you'd know they haven't been getting meal. Small lambs again, but should be okay. But here we go. We have a sheep thinking about doing something here. We have another set of triplets up here. Haven't actually managed a wet fostering yet. The timing just hasn't been great. We have a nice wet triplet here. There's the other one. The other lamb is in there. Pet's corner building up. Not sure what to do with these. They are a headache, but the feeder is there and they're working away. Actually, not much hassle with them yet. The feeder is going well. It's actually going very well. The workload isn't major on the feeder, but give you a look in the lambing pens here. It is full out here, absolutely packed. Just give you a look out here now. Oh, another single in here. That single was lambed last night. Handy little lamb for a single, but up, healthy, alive. Not sure what I'm going to do. Really need to clear out a bit of space here, but look at that for a single. Lovely big lamb. Good mum, good lamb. No problem, she lambed away herself. That's what I want to see. So just give you a look here now. We have sheep and lambs. This is kind of the departure lounge here. So sheep and lambs there. Bit of joint hill early on. You'll see number 9 there. Number 14. Number 14 again. Oddly enough, the 2 lambs in it got joint hill. 2 lambs in that pair. I don't know, starting to think it's the tags. You might have seen that in the last video. We're going down that route of the iodine before we're tag. But busy. Lambing pens are full. Just give you a look here. Set of triplets here. Not the biggest lambs in the world, but up, healthy, sucked. That's what it's all about. No tubing or messing about, just letting them do their own thing. Set of twins there. Big single there. She's the one actually lost the lamb. She was born with a dead lamb. When I went in for a shower and checked on the camera when I was just getting into bed, second lamb was out with bag on the head, dead. That's the nature of farming. You'll not win them all. Lovely big single there. That could go. Nice pair of doubles. Quite happy. Pair of doubles born yesterday. 2 lovely big lambs. Another pair of doubles here. There's the other lamb there. And another pair of doubles there. And another pair here. Mammy not overly keen on the other lamb. Not sure will it go for the fostering crate, but can be a bit tricky sometimes. So this sheep here had a very tough lambing. She was one of the other sheep actually on that bit of ground that had misplaced, but when we went over to collect them, she was starting to lamb. Big head, stuck, dead lamb, starting to swell. Bit of experience for the vet students. They took the lamb. Mammy is actually doing well. She looks a bit shocked, but she's doing well. So we fostered a lamb on here. We'll see how that goes. We'll keep you updated on that, but we'll hope for that. Big single here, and unfortunately more joint hill. You see the joint quite swollen there. But injecting them for 5 days brought them back in. These lambs were actually brought in from the field, but they have improved considerably. Those lambs couldn't even stand when they came in. It's just one of them things. Every year presents a different problem, and this year it seems to be giant ill. Not major, but definitely have about 6 or 8 lambs worth. Thankfully nothing since. Now, so I missed out on fostering some of those triplets. I just had a sleepy night. There was a 2-hour period. I had to go to bed. I was so tired, had to go to bed, and missed probably that time and opportunity of getting a triplet fostered on. But I see a nice wet triplet. He is still wet. She has 2 nice lambs there. Gonna do my best to get a triplet fostered on here. This timing is critical, but I see a single just starting here now. If I can show you, she is just starting to press here now. This one here, I can see the point of a water bag. She's just starting to press it out. Actually another one here too, just starting there. You see her. So there we go. She are just pressing there now. You can see the water bag just the tips are just starting to come out. So what I might do, if I'm lucky and I get that timing right, I might catch that juice in the water bag, re-wet that lamb. He's not too bad, but we'll try and get that single fostered onto her, and then we'll have 2 and 2. That's what we're looking for. We'll give it a go. We'll keep you posted. We'll see how we get on. Now, you might remember this lad. This is Kyle. He is my neighbour from down the road. He was on a couple of videos last year. Your daddy is a suckler farmer. Yeah. And he loves sheep. He absolutely loves sheep. So he's here. He just arrived today to give me a hand, and you couldn't have come at a better time now. It's easy enough. Yeah. Yeah, good man. So have you any sheep at home?
Oh, only have 2 up on the hill.
You have 2 sheep? Yeah. Good man. Well, you have to start somewhat.
Aye.
100 sheep in a few years, I can see it. Good man. Well, Kyle is here. He's just doing a bit of bedding and a bit of water in the pens. We're going to get them mealed up. We'll get that done. Fair play to you. Meh. 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 Big single here. Massive lamb. Good big lamb now. Really happy with those lambs. So some of these singles, like this one here, we've another one here. We have another single has made her way up there somehow. This is actually a single here with the purple dot on her head. That's kind of the way I do, just do a temporary mark the sheep and the lamb, so I know which sheep owns which lamb. I kind of do it as they're born. Even when the lamb could be wet, I'd put a wee dot on them, and it isn't inclined to get licked off. But here's another single. That sheep and lamb can head. I think what I'm going to do is actually get them out. I'm going to number them and put them out without tagging. These lambs are a little bit fresh, so I'm just going to stick them out to the field. And it's a little small field beside the shade here. The lads, when they come back on Monday, Cian and Peter can give me a hand with running them back in and tagging them. It's not ideal, but I am so stuck for space, I'm going to have to do something. But I think as sheep farmers, most of us are guilty of having too many sheep, and I think I figured out why. I think the problem with sheep is if you've just sheep, is the grass in the summer. It's so hard to keep all that grass eaten, and then it leaves us really tight for shed space and feeding in the winter. So I think that's the reason why us sheep farmers are overstocked. Let me know your thoughts on that one. It'd be great to hear from you. This is an interesting one. This sheep that is in labour here, you'll notice on her back there is the black mark, and that black mark is for the sheep that are carrying to the Texel ram. But it would be really nice to see, can she lamb herself? But we'll see. It's the first Texel ever on the farm, so who knows. Now this really is gambly kind of stuff, because I find it's actually quite easy to get the sheep to take to a wet lamb, but it can be more difficult to get the lamb to take to the sheep. So what I mean by that is sometimes the lamb will have talked to the sheep and they have a little bleat between each other, and that bonding has already started. And when the sheep is making those initial bleats, the lamb doesn't respond, and then the sheep know something is up. So it's just a fine window of how this wet fostering works. But I see a lamb here who is not overly worried about his own mammy. Which is the wettest lamb? He's quite wet. These two are sucking, so I would imagine, yeah, they are much drier now. But this is my wet lamb here. Is it a ram lamb? Yes, a ram lamb. So I'm going to pull this lamb off here and try him in along with the Texel. It'll be interesting to see the difference in the size and maybe watch the two of them growing side by side. So it could be an interesting one. We'll see. We'll hope it goes to plan. Well, that's not good. That is not good. First Texel lamb and unviable. Dead lamb. Watery belly, I don't know. What would you describe that one as? Not good. She needs to get out now. I'm not sure if this is contagious, but not the result I was hoping for. I'm quite worried about when you see these aborting. Sometimes you'll have contagious bacteria, Campylobacter, Salmonella, Enzo, Toxo. Well, Toxo's not actually that contagious in the lamb and shed, but I think the secret is get them out as soon as possible because they're going to spread it around the rest of them. I think that's the number one option if you have these problems. So I've just pulled this sheep out. Lovely big strong sheep she is. Checked her bag. Just handle her, squeeze her bag. Little or no milk, so not really an option to foster something onto her. So she will get a 0 and she'll go out to the field with that other older sheep, the one that went down with calcium in the housing sheep video. She will go out with her and she will run with no lambs. You'll have a certain amount of them. But the sooner I get her out of here, the better. I just don't like the looks of that. It's not nice, it's nasty looking. Hopefully she'll be okay. No smell of it, so I'm not going to give her an antibiotic. But she'll get a 0 now. No lamb for her. She's a pretty fat sheep, so if I can hold her without antibiotics, don't have to treat her, give her, I'm not sure actually, let me know in the comments, how long can I leave that sheep before I can send her to the factory? Can I send her to the factory like that, just after lambing? I'm not sure, let me know, it'd be great to hear from you. Alright Kyle, we get her out to the field there, if you stand there for me, good man, don't let her up the passage yet. Shh. So out to the field with her. That's the safest place for a lady like that. Okay Kyle, if you wouldn't mind closing that gate there, good man. So she is looking for a lamb, but no milk. Not going to waste my time trying it. It is unfortunate, we had that triplet, but as you see, it doesn't always work out. So what is my options with this lamb? Well, Pet's Corner is filling up. Mammy here has her hands full. She already has 2 lambs, but they're feeding away. Just going to do something, I'm not sure if it's wise, but I don't know if it's tiredness or just no interest in any more pet lamb. This lamb is going outside with this sheep. She is so anxious looking for a lamb. I'm hoping she'll take them. See her over here? So anxious looking for a lamb. This lamb is still wet. We'll see how it goes. Meh, meh, meh. We'll see how it goes. Nice bit of shelter here behind the shed. We'll give it a go. I have a funny feeling she'll take to this lamb. There we go. She's coming. She's coming. There we go. Let's see how that goes. Now, I know I said she had no milk. She's a little bit. Gonna try it. Gonna try it. What have we got to lose? Lose a lot of money with all these lambs on the feeder. We'll leave her there, see how it goes. I'm not sure that was the wisest maneuver I've ever made, but it's amazing what tiredness can do for you. But I have another sheep starting the lamb here. This one here, I'm not sure if you can see that. She is just starting to press. She's just making a bit of headway. Now it's extremely windy outside, but that triplet that I tried to foster onto the Texel bear and yo, no milk, I see an option here. Just going to catch some liquid gold. We'll give it a go. caught this tub of liquid gold. Going to use it to re-wet this lamb and get it in with this single that's lambing. Go and have a look. This is the triplet lamb we tried to foster onto that Texel that had no milk. So I'm going to give him another chance. He's drying off a bit. We're just going to put a bit of this juicy stuff on the lamb and hopefully she'll want him. Now there is a negative to this. The lamb has to dry off a second and he's almost fully dry. Should be okay. So it's a pretty cold day today. This lamb will be a little bit shivery, drying off for a second hen today, but if Mammy takes to him when he gets a good belly full of milk, he'll be grand. We'll see how this goes. She's not mad keen on a lamb, but we'll put her in here. In you go. In you go there. There we go. So we'll see what happens. She's not mad keen on a lamb. She might want to love a lamb. We hope she will anyway. She is not showing much interest in the lamb at all. He is definitely showing more interest than she is. But the instincts might kick in. We shall see. Now, so her promising sign is she is letting the lamb suck. She's not overly keen licking him, but it's a good sign she's letting the lamb suck. Definitely half the battle. Well, it's a good start anyway. These fostering jobs, you don't want to expect too much, but can be successful, maybe not, for no obvious reason, but it's great to see him sucking. That is a really good start anyway, so we'll keep you posted. We'll get on to the next job. Now, here's the sheep lamb in here. So there's a lamb technically inside the bag. The membrane is covering his nose here. But there we go, we'll just give him a little bit of space there for breeding. A good big lamb he is. But I don't know, I seem to have a few of them this year more than other years, but I'm not sure. The few casualties you find in the pens, is it down to the membrane covering the face? I don't know. But that's a very good lamb and easily lambed, no major pushing or shoving, it just kind of slipped out. So when the opportunity is here and I have the tub, I'm going to collect this other water bag. So another tub of liquid gold. I have a feeling it's going to be fostering season. There's a lot of singles starting the lamb here. I will try and get some of maybe the pet lambs or triplets or something foster on. So we have this for when the time comes. It'll keep fresh for about 24 hours. The only downside to it is it's going to be cold, but it's better than nothing. Now, that Texel that lambed earlier was not a particularly good example of a lambing. It didn't go to plan. We had that kind of watery belly thing. Not something I've ever really seen before. Let me know if you think what it might have been. But this is another one. I can see a faint black mark on her shoulders there. She is a single, getting ready to lamb a big Texel lamb. I can see quite a big foot there. I'm not sure if you can see that with light. Let's see if we can get a bit closer here. So quite a big foot. But we'll keep an eye on her on the camera. Just going to go in and grab a bite to eat now. It's a little bit of a window of opportunity to get something to eat. Now, so just watching sheep on the camera here and was a little concerned about this lamb. This lamb here looked to be have a bag over his head, but in the time from walking out from the house, which is only about 150 yards away from the shed, it's quite handy. The bag seems to have cleared. But this is the best example of how mismothering occurs. So this is when things get really confusing, and probably the biggest downside to indoor lambing is mismothering. In nature, you'll often see a sheep when she goes to lamb, she'll go right away from the flock into a wee spot on her own. They really can't do that in the lambing pen. And that mothering instinct to want to lick a wet lamb just kicks in. But we'll get these separated now. We don't want any mismothering. it's a pain. It can be a pain. We've only had them couple with 2 lambs on the feeder that were the result of this, but we'll avoid it in this instance. So here is this Texel in operation. Looks like a savage. Big tongue swelling there already. I'd be very surprised if she didn't need assistance. So a question I often get asked is, how do you know when to intervene? So I suppose this is a good example as any. I have a funny feeling I will be intervening here. So how do I decide when? Well, this sheep is pretty far on in labour. She is contracting, pressing really hard, and I think in my estimation a half an hour of that is enough. If she isn't making headway with the head, it's time to intervene. What generally happens is the sheep gets really tired, hard lambing, the lamb's head starts to swell. I can actually see that lad's tongue is swelling already. We give them another 10 or 15 minutes and we'd see what is actually happening. But in my opinion, I think the mistake a lot of people make is intervening too early. So that's going in to pull a lamb, and technically the sheep isn't ready to lamb. So all that pressing and pushing against the back end, there's a contraction here now. So you see the lamb is coming out a little bit. So all that pressing is actually opening her up to leave her more ready for lambing. So when you do intervene, that she's well opened up. But I think going in too early is a bigger problem than maybe too late. In that instance, the lamb is presented the right way. I can see the tip of 2 feet and a nose coming, so there should be no real pressure. Backways lamb is different. You probably need to intervene a bit sooner, but we'll go down and sort out this mismothering operation and get that done next. Here is the one that lambed while we were in for tea. Another lamb coming in the bag again. I really get a bit worried, but yes, the other lamb was in the bag when we were. So what do you do there? Are you here just in time? You see the lamb is actually gasping, trying to get air. I'm not sure. I do often wonder how many of these lambs you're saving, or would nature actually manage to intervene. So we get them out here. We don't have much space, but we're going to have to make space. Kyle, we may do a bit of a rip here, clear out. Now things are getting extra complicated in here. 4 lambs, 2 mammies fighting over them. Now the weekend has landed, the students are gone, but the main man has landed. Robbie, are ready to go?
I'm ready to go. The students are gone, but the teachers are here.
We'll see what we can learn today.
The college of knowledge.
Yeah. Every day is a school day.
Every day is a school day and a sheep day. A sheep day and a school day.
You must miss the tramping around fields and muck and wet and rain.
No, not really. No, it's actually the fact that it's good for the mind. And it's good for the boss.
Good man. Right, go and take a cup of tea.
Right.
So we'll see you when
he's allowing me a cup of tea.
Yeah, he's getting some downtime. Something I just want to show you. A lovely, absolutely lovely pair of twins. Lovely big lambs. This lad is a whopper here with a silage on his back. A whopper. And another decent lamb here. And not the biggest sheep in the world, but a nice sheep all the same. Good big bag of milk on her. Happy days. Happy days. If all your lambs came out like that and she lambed down herself, no assistance whatsoever. Nice to see them coming like that. We have another pair here. Nice lambs too. So that purple mark on her shoulder, that's a homebred ram of mine. Very, very, very easy lambed. Difficulty I think is 1% on him when I look up the figures. These lambs are out of a new ram I bought, 2nd year of using them, and they are exceptionally nice lambs. And if it is possibly worth putting a wee alert on the reader, just to keep an eye on that lamb. he could have potential as a breeding ram. But we'll see, we'll see. That's a long way off yet now. He's a lot of growing and living to do before we get that far. So we'll not jump the gun yet. So just give you a bit of an update on this one. A big single Texel lamb coming. Massive lamb. I can tell by the size of those feet and that nose and the swollen tongue. That's a big lamb, and Mammy's struggling there. I would really like to give her the benefit of the doubt and see could she work away. But I did get quite a few messages and emails from people with difficult lambs. I don't know, it's a tricky one. It's a fine line from having really nice big strong lambs to having a lot of difficulty at lambing time. It's probably the downside to my sheep. The lambs are quite handy, not lumps of things with the exception of that those nice twins down there. But they're generally easy lambs. My handling of sheep has been minimal so far, and the ones that have been heads and no feet, and anything that was given a chance really as lamb themselves, or most of them anyway. But yeah, it's a fine line. Look, if you want fast finishing lambs that grow fast, that's a price you pay. This would be a price you'd pay here. Maybe a bit more difficulty at lambing time. And then the other side of it too, speaking to a lot of farmers, I know Porrick, the scanner the other day, mentioned about a lot of people disappointed, doing everything right. Nice terminal rams, good yos, lambs finished early within 5 or 6 months to get the poorest money all year. It's those stragglers, later finishing lambs that people are really making the money on. So I don't know, it's difficult. But then everybody's system is different. I suppose you do whatever suits your system. Let me know yourselves how you're finding these terminal breeds. From seeing this, I'm not convinced it's for me. Not convinced so far anyway. Now maybe at the other end of the year when I have savages of lambs, maybe that'll change my mind. But let me know, it'd be great to hear from you. So it's a little bit windy here, but I just want to show you, these are the sheep and lambs that went out last night. Tough conditions, a terrible wet night. So we're just kind of hoping everything is okay. They're trying to get a bit of shelter down here from the wind. It's a field that's not particularly well sheltered. It's a 16-acre field. It's a very big field. I would love to actually split it and put a hedge up the middle of it. Come on, wee lamb. Alright, just relaxing there. Big stretch, that's a good sign. Lovely job. Happy days. So wee lamb in trouble over here. You're not in a great spot, little lammy. Heading for the hedge. I'll get you up there. Come on up here. Yeah. Alright. Oh, little lammy. Alright. That's the good mammy. Alright. So a few singles here. That's a sheep with one lamb. She should have 2. Question is, where's her other lamb? Ah, there he is, number 42. She'll find him. She'll find him. It was an extremely wet night last night, but space is tight. They had to go out. If I had a choice, I would probably keep them in, toughen them up for a few days, but there we go. They're out anyway. Some more sheep and lambs out here. Quite young, small lambs. Didn't actually realise we had as many put out, but there you go, they're well settled. They're not too bad. See another one with joint ill, one of those early lambs that we didn't put iodine on when we were tagging. Is it the cause? I don't know, but we're definitely going to do it from now on. Be interesting to see, is there any difference with the amount of joint ill we have? We'll see. Now, we'll just have Robbie and Orla here on some domestic work, a little domestic job. They're just packing the bins here.
Packing his money. Jeez, there's a lot of it.
You're bailing it, Robbie.
Isn't there, Orla?
Orla, you still camera shy?
I don't, she ducks into the corner.
Yeah, she's looking fierce, well, isn't she?
You end up in that bin, boy. Legs akimbo.
Right, I'll go back to the lambing shed. Good luck. So we're about 3/4 of an hour of the way in here. The nose and the feet are a little bit further out, but it's still pretty tight stuff. I really want to give her the benefit of the doubt. Went out to the field and I brought back in another joint ill casualty. Have to inject him now for 5 days, but we'll get that started now in a minute. But gonna chance leaving this one for another while. Just really want to give her the benefit of the doubt. If we hit the hour mark, that's it. We'll intervene then. Now here's a wee lamb, number 17 here. Brought her back in from the field. Little ewe lamb with a swollen shoulder. You see her top of her front shoulder there is a little bit swollen, and she's a little bit lame. That is the start of joint ill. So I have no alternative but to inject her for 5 consecutive days. The vet has given me antibiotics for the joint ill. It's a tricky one to treat, but I think part of the solution is consecutive days for a minimum of 5 days and not to miss a day. So you'd be very tempted. They're easy to catch out in the field, but after 2 or 3 days of antibiotics, very hard to catch, and you just leave them then. But a relapse is generally not good. It's usually the end. You better get them on the first attack. So I think the easiest thing is get them back inside, even though they're eating up space here. So I'm just gonna catch this lamb. The biggest job is to know, have you injected them and how many days you've injected them. So I think I have a bit of a solution here. I have a bit of a plan here. So I'm going to give the lamb the antibiotic that the vet has given me. I just checked the name of that, I'm not sure what it is. And a bit of Medicam for the pain as well. Half a milliliter of that. But I'm going to use the red spray. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So you'll just notice here, this is one of the lambs we tagged and no iodine on the ears. Really starting to wonder, is this tagging the problem? Not sure. I'm not sure. Into the antibiotic. Under the skin here with the Medicam. And then to know how many days I've given it antibiotics, I'm just going to use the red spray. So that's 1 day. I'm going to go day 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be my way of knowing if the lamb is done for the 5 days. It's a massive push there. Just finding it hard to get that head to pop out. But every push, she's getting a little bit further. Now, I've just run this sheep in here. The one with the Texel lamb. And all I'm seeing is a massive head coming here. So I am thinking the kindest thing is to give her a hand. I really wanted to see her lambing herself. Just going to assist her. Presentation is good. You can see a nose and 2 feet. But a big head. It's a very big head. We'll give her a hand. She's been in labour now for pressing for well over an hour now, so look, we'll be kind to her. We'll give her a hand. Now, so close, she just couldn't get that head out. The head was well swelled. Just to get that initial pop out, there we go. Not much pulling and mulling, just a big head. Probably the downside of the Texels is this massive head, which you'd start to wonder why would they breed for a big head. I know it looks very nice in the show ring, but in terms of practicality, would I be right in saying it's the first thing that goes in the skip in the factory? I'm not sure. No. Definitely a good lamb. It's a brute of a lamb. Mommy has loads of milk too. So the head is well swelled on that lamb, but give him an hour, he'll be fine. I'm pretty sure he'll be sucking then. So we'll get Mommy up, Mommy will be fit. Look at that. Christ, he's a monster. He is a monster. This lad is nearly as big as his mother. Look at the size of him. He's massive. That's a huge lamb. But I've no doubt he'll be the first lamb to go to the factory. He's a savage of a lamb. And a little yo lamb too. Well, not little, but a yo lamb. It's a female. I know they make pretty good breeders. Oh my God, I wonder what weight that lamb is. That's the heaviest lamb I've ever seen around here. But I've never lambed in Texel before, so there we go. But I do remember when I was getting going with clean sheep, I had originally set out to run my sheep with terminal rams like Texel, Charlotte, Suffolk. And I remember speaking to a long-time breeder, and he said, you'll have great factory lambs, but you'll have higher mortality. And I see why. I wouldn't be used to this heavy pulling, we'll say. No, but there wasn't that much heavy pulling, but the chances of that sheep lambing herself was small. And she's a good big sheep, she's a framey sheep. But there we go, we'll get her up. There we go. No, up you go. No. Up it is. And look who's just landed here. The staff crew has arrived. We have Jonica, Ada, my girl, and Bobby, my two nephews here. These are very fancy pants and all dressed up.
Because we went to Dublin.
You were in Dublin?
Yeah, what's the thing?
And what about the lambing? You just dropped me like a hot snot.
We didn't even know there was lamb in it.
Well, we're flat hike now. These are some dudes. So you had fun today?
Yeah.
Now there's some serious work to do. We have a lot of lambing pens full. Are you ready to come carrying buckets of water and nuts?
No.
Some help there going to be. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. So there's my big lump of Texel lamb up. He is a savage. A brute of a lamb. With the big wide back on him. I definitely wouldn't be used to lambs that size. Be interesting to see what size his head is when the swelling goes down. Lovely lamb though. Plenty of muscle in him. So Grandad went into the house there for a pitch stop and he just couldn't get back out without the wee man Noah. I'm going to water the pens and a bit of meal. But that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.
Keep it country.